All set, Lambodar?
Yes, yes.
Right. Good day and a warm welcome to you to today's webinar, Revolutionizing the Pharmaceutical Industry, Impact of AI, brought to you by IIHMR Bangalore. I'm Dr. Subodha Satish, Assistant Professor, Pharmaceutical Management, IIHMR Bangalore, and I'm delighted to moderate today's exciting session on AI in the pharmaceutical industry. It's a wonderful time to discuss this topic today on AI in pharmaceutical industry and where artificial intelligence is shifting from theoretical to reality and entering practical implications in the pharmaceutical industry. First of all, I would like to give a brief introduction about my organization, Institute of Health Management Research, Bangalore. Before that, let's go for a campus tour. Great. Let's go to the presentation. Right. Next slide, please. Yeah. Institute of Health Management and Research, Bangalore, IIHMR is established in 2004 and aims to provide leadership and competency building among health and hospital managers, planners, decision makers, trainers, and research scientists at the national as well as international levels. We offer postgraduate diploma program in hospital management, health information technology management, and pharmaceutical management. IIHMR Bangalore is the south campus of IS Institute of Health Management Research University, that is in Jaipur, which is established back in 1984. And we got university status back in 2013. And IIHMR Bangalore was started in 2004 and got AICT approval in 2010 and got NABET accreditation in 2015, MBA equivalency and NBA in 2018. And we have started courses like healthcare information technology management, that is HIT in 2017, and pharmaceutical management in 2020. IIHMR Bangalore has 4 key verticals. One is academics, research and publications, training and consultants. In academics, we offer 2-year full-time specializations in hospital management, health management, HIT management, and pharmaceutical management with a seating capacity of 120. We have 100% placement record. When it comes to research and publications, we have do evaluation projects, implementation projects, and we focus on trust areas like health communication, RMNCH, NCDs, and do in urban as well as rural geographies. When it comes to trainings, we take up MDPs, FTPs, EDPs, students engagement programs, certificate programs, and with consultancies, faculty and the institution involved in a lot of consultancy programs in the NCD strategy, growth assessment, and all. And we have received many accolades from renowned organizations like Gold Band grade in outpaced education ranking in 2023, ranked 151 in India's best B school ranking, 10th B school in Bengaluru, 7th B school in Bengaluru, Outstanding Academic Institute Award back in 2022, and India's Educational Excellence Awards in 2022. We are accredited by IIHMR, NBA, and AIU. We have empanelment with Jal Jeevan Mission, NHSRC, Karnataka Evaluation Authority, National Health Authority, and NABET. And we have also started our fellow program in management, which is our doctoral level program equivalent to PhD accredited by AICTE. So as I have discussed, we have 100% placement record, and these are our major international as well as national placement partners like Burjeel Hospital, CS Associates, Microlabs, Biocon, Cerner, and all. This is our team, our intellectual capital, led by Dr. Usha Manjunath, our director. So yeah. So coming to our webinar, first of all, I would like to discuss a little bit about the pharmaceutical industry. We know that our pharmaceutical industry is a cornerstone of global healthcare, dedicated to research, development, manufacturing, and distribution of medications that contribute to prevention, treatment, and management of various medical conditions. The multifaceted sector is characterized by its commitment to scientific innovation, stringent regulatory standards, and a crucial role in improving public health worldwide. When we talk about the Indian pharmaceutical industry, over the years, it has evolved to one of the largest and most dynamic pharmaceutical markets globally, earning acclaim for its robust capabilities, innovation, and cost-effective drug production. The Indian pharmaceutical industry is the supplier of more than 50% global demand for vaccines, home to 3,000 drug companies and 10,500 manufacturing units. Third, when it comes to pharmaceutical production, 14 when it comes to its value. India's pharmaceutical sector is indeed a global giant when it comes to medical supplies. The Indian pharmaceutical market is currently valued at $60 billion and is estimated to touch $130 billion by 2030. Today, the pharmaceutical industry is undergoing a transformative evolution with the integration of artificial intelligence. The convergence of advanced data analytics, machine learning, and AI technologies is reshaping how pharmaceutical companies approach drug discovery, development, marketing, market research, and various aspects of healthcare ecosystem. The integration of AI in the pharmaceutical industry makes a paradigm shift, fostering innovation, efficiency, and improvement in patient outcomes. In our panel today, we are privileged to have experts representing various domains within the pharmaceutical industry, like market research, marketing, clinical research, drug discovery, and they will be offering their valuable insights into transformative impact of AI in our industry. So we extend a warm welcome to all our panel members. We extend a warm welcome to our participants. And regarding the questions, please make sure that you hold it until the end of the webinar. You can drop your questions in the chat box. And also, we will be providing you with a dedicated session where your queries will be addressed by our panel members. To ensure a smooth session, please keep yourself muted throughout this webinar. Thank you so much for your cooperation. So, to bring this topic alive, I'm delighted to welcome esteemed experts from pharma and clinical research. It is my pleasure to introduce our first panel member for this webinar, Mr. Abdul Wahid Khan, the Associate Vice President of BIS Research. Mr. Abdul Wahid Khan is an industry-renowned consultant with a master's degree in pharmacoinformatics and a profound experience of 10 plus years. He has provided consultancy services for companies such as Analysis Group, McKinsey & Company, NTT Data Corporation, Merck & Co., Pfizer, Philips, Sony Corporation, GE Healthcare, and Alta Partners. He is an expert professional in providing services such as strategic evaluation, consumer perception analysis, opportunity assessment, market entry strategies, product launch strategies, and competitive benchmarking, among others. He possesses successful track recording in helping several emerging companies such as Maser Robotics, Endomester PT Limited, and to develop market entry strategies. His areas of expertise include digital health technologies, precision medicine, and biopharmaceuticals. Welcome, Mr. Abdul Wahid Khan, to this interesting session on impact of AI in pharmaceutical industry.
Thank you so much for such a warm welcome.
Yes, sir. So I would like to go directly to the question. The integration of artificial intelligence in the pharmaceutical industry has set a brand new chapter in industry's development, as well as unprecedented opportunities for strengthening quality control and improving decision-making. Can you share a few words on how AI is providing a future outlook to the pharmaceutical sector?
Yeah, first of all, thank you for having me here, and warm welcome to every listener that's here on the platform. So let's start with some of your questions. So if you have asked this question like 10 years ago, I would have said it's mostly theoretical. The use of AI in pharma industry in general would have a limited implementations because of the two reasons. So one, the digital infrastructure around it, because processing large amounts of data, you need high performance computing, telecommunication, like network like 5G that we have today, as well as the implementation of different software infrastructure that need to be developed. So that was not there in the last 10 years. But what happened in the last 10 years, that development of digital infrastructure, every company has a digital strategy right now. So if you look at any pharma company, now they have a chief digital officer. So that role was not there 5 years ago, because they realized they need to have a digital informatics department that can handle a lot of data that they are generating and their patient generating, that can used in development and in normal operation efficiencies. But with the changes in digital infrastructure that every company does, and in general the infrastructure that we have developed around it, that we have this core infrastructure needed to implement such a sophisticated solutions like AI. And that's why we are seeing so much use of AI within the pharmaceutical industry. So if you talk about the pharmaceutical industry, let's talk about entire value chain. So start with initial drug design, to last stage where, you are talking to patients, customer evaluations, or managing compliance of patient, or even area reporting, right? So every part of pharma has been now, kind of integrated with some solution of AI. For example, nowadays there is a company called In Silico Medicine. They have just take their first medicine into clinical trials that is literally designed by AI from scratch. So that means the first step of designing the molecule, validating it, lead optimization, even preclinical, to the stage that they are doing the first stage of clinical evaluation, phase 1. So you can see the transformation that we have right now. And every industry based on anything, it's matter of cost. So if you have a technology that reduce the cost, it's going to be implemented sooner or later. And if you don't kind of replicate that, you lose your value. And that's why every pharma company is seeing that risk, that if they don't implement AI in their businesses, they will lose value. Then there is a classical example. If you see the industry, how the Kodak and the Nokia has been faded out, even though there's a pioneer in their field, because of they don't adopt the technology at the time, they have now faded out, right? So industry doesn't wait for you. You have to grab the technology and incorporate in, so that you are valuable in the terms of customer acquisitions, and this is what is happening. So as I said, the AI has been transforming every part of everything that we see in pharmaceutical industry, and that from last 20 years, where we have started digitalization in terms of how we have developed computers and everything. The value of AI, for example, in 2012 or 2015, we talked about there was less than $500 million in terms of overall investment in pharmaceutical industry. Right now, every year, the companies are pumping more than $5 billion just to adopt the technology, to make sure that they have this technology, so that they are aware of that, what things happening in the industry, right? And let's talk about the different aspect of it. So as I said, mentioned in drug discovery, there are a lot of 800 companies that are working just with AI, and there are 188 pharma companies that have so far implemented digital technologies, implementation of AI in their drug discovery platform. So this is the initial phase of it. Then we have clinical and preclinical development. So AI is so advanced that it's kind of reducing the cost of drug development entirely. For example, if you talk about the conventional method of drug development, that costs you around $1.5 billion to develop a cost. To take it from the lab to market, you have to spend $1.5 billion, and it spend almost 10 years of a time. Right? With AI, what suggestion is that industry would do it within a range of $500 million, and that drug would come within 3 to 4 years of time span. So that means you are reducing cost heavily, more than 60% of it, and reducing time by 1/3. So that's the benefit that we are looking at. And just not the development part of it, AI is also implementing in manufacturing part of it, because once you have drug developed, you need to manufacture it, and manufacture it in a way that is very cost efficient. So now we have companies like Siemens, ABB, that providing software solutions that mimic how your production will look like, right? How your batch size will look like. They simulate entire data of production and predict the analysis that how much a batch you can produce in a month, and what could be your downtime. So you can plan for your predictive maintenance. So those kind of solutions have been developed in manufacturing. And from manufacturing, now we have all the solutions for logistics. So for example, a drug is manufactured in Switzerland and supplied to Indian subcontinent. There is a tracking with the AI tools and blockchain. So that makes sure that every batch that's going to the consumer is pre-tracked. So that means if any area is reported, you can report where the drug had been manufactured. So, this is how the supply chains works. Now, talking about the patient compliance or post-launch activities. So this is, if you see that the market right now, the AI has in biopharmaceutical, mostly into the drug discovery part, and we are seeing some traction in biomanufacturing. The one field that going to be a gold mine in next 10 years is patient compliance or post-delivery market, right? So where we have, once the drug is in the market, how company can track and see the benefit of drug, whether the patient has been there or not, and also trying to create a feedback loop. So what's happening is right now is that there are a lot of companies developing their compliance tools that, if you can give a name, there's a name called digital therapeutics. So every drugs in the future will come with a digital companion. So for example, you're taking a cardiovascular drug, right? But a company is not aware of whether the drug is being used on a time, what is the adherence level, if any area to be reported that has been reported or not. So that's why they are coming with the AI software that goes with patient, and that can make a feedback loop so that the data that is lost between doctor and patient, that directly goes to pharmaceutical company, and they can utilize to make a drug better, right? So there is almost like 100 companies that now working on digital therapeutics, and already more than 30 drugs or digital companion tools have been approved by FDA. And I was fortunate enough to work with Pfizer on their companion, digital companion. They have a platform. So, for example, that they're offering for cancer drugs. So, any patient taking cancer, they can download their digital companion, and all the feedback loops that directly goes to doctor can also share with the company. So they are aware of that is what is the compliance or adherence, and that can be increased. So suppose if you see that in the entire spectrum, there is nothing left where there is AI is not available. And we see that in the next 10 years, every company, if they wanted to survive, they should have some part of it that is, digital operation or commercialization aspect. They should have AI integration as a part of core strategy if you wanted to make value around it.
Right. Great insights indeed, Mr. Wahid. Yes, one point I would like to take from your like the way you spoke about AI, how AI has transformed the industry just from drug discovery to maybe post-market surveillance. So yeah, one point is that industry doesn't wait for you. Right? You have to grab the opportunity and go forward. Right. But that's also a message to all our students, all our participants who are here, because it's about grabbing the opportunity, because it's not just for the student, but also for each and every pharmaceutical company. If they are not ready to accept the changes that is revolving around, they will be struggling in future. Right. So yeah, thank you so much, sir. So now I would like to extend a warm welcome to our next speaker, Dr. M.S. Ganachari, Professor and Head of the Department Pharmacy Practice, as well as the Registrar of KLE University in Belgaum. Dr. M.S. Ganachari is a distinguished academician with a doctoral degree in pharmacology, boasting an extensive 30-year career in the field. Recognized for publishing over 70 papers in esteemed national and international peer-reviewed journals, Dr. Ganachari also acts as editor for many international journals. Currently, he holds the esteemed position of registrar at KLE University, Belgaum, concurrently serving as professor and head of the Department of Clinical Pharmacy. In addition to his academic roles, he plays a crucial role as the member secretary of CAHIS Ethical Committee, member of Expert Committee for PharmD course constituted by PCI Delhi. His influential contributions extend to various leadership positions, including Secretary of IPA Belgaum Branch, Deputy Director of KLE University Research Foundation, membership on Executive Committee on Hospital Pharmacy Division IPA. He is also involved in coordination of several clinical trial projects funded internationally. His achievements include the receipt of Best Paper Award in IJOOP 2001, 2011, and the prestigious Best Teacher Award from KLE University in 2010. A luminary in the pharmaceutical domain, his multifaceted contributions and leadership roles underscore his commitment to advancing field of pharmacy and academia. I'm honored to have Dr. Ganachari join us for this session. Welcome, Dr. Ganachari.
Yeah, thank you, Subodh. Thank you for your nice introduction and good words about welcoming me. Thank you.
Yeah. So I would go directly to the question, sir. The use of artificial intelligence and machine learning in clinical research is rapidly evolving, offering a glimpse into a future where medical innovation is driven by data-driven algorithms. How is artificial intelligence shaping the clinical trial department?
Good evening, everyone, all the participants, and special thanks to Dr. Subodh and IIHMR for organizing such a wonderful, very thought-provoking webinar. I appreciate your consent and the gesture to make every participant to make aware about the AI. And I appreciate earlier my co-panelist has given a very good spectrum of whole entire pharma industries and all those things. Coming to the specific question, just a small background. When you say about the clinical trials, we know from whether it is from preclinical phase 1 to the phase 4, it is very, very complex. Particularly when we talk about multinational, multicentric studies, is getting the huge quantity and the verified quality of the data and sitting and analyzing in one corner of the world, we have got a lot of challenges. Subsequently, over a period of time, as we heard earlier speaker saying that how this AI has been shaping the entire industries. Particularly, so one of the benefit of this using AI in clinical trial is that the increased efficiency, efficacy, as well as accuracy it can bring into the process. Particularly, this AI-powered tools can automate the systems, tasks like whether it's a trial design, whether it is a patient recruitment, data analysis, and by doing so, we can save a lot of time and the resources can be reduced. And as we know that with artificial intelligence, researcher can more easily identify the eligible patients for trials, track their progress, as well as analyze the results in real time. Just to elaborate a little more on the how to get the eligible patients. When I started my career in clinical trials, I used to say the long list of inclusion criteria and one or two exclusion criteria. But over a period of time, it has changed. I'll see only few inclusion criteria. I got a long exclusion criteria. Because to take out the confounding factors, they want to narrow down their confounding factors and make precise to their primary and secondary objectives. When you look into those things, humanly it is not possible to go on checking out what are the exclusion criteria and how to do it and make the eligibility. Probably this AI will come handy for all the consultants or the principal investigators so that they can meet out the primary goal of a clinical trial and focus on the primary objectives or the secondary objective of the trial. Apart from those things, as I said, when you get a very complex data, diversified data across the centers, multicentric studies, this algorithm of the AI can help us to analyze it and make the meaningful outcome of the data. And apart from those things, this can be potentially speed up the entire clinical trial process, allowing the faster development and approval of the new treatment. I don't know whether earlier we should talk that we should give one typical like a train-like pattern when you want to show the clinical trial. We should teach the students and say, look, it takes 15 years, 20 years to molecule to come into the market. I don't know. Do we have so much patience nowadays? Or what the market is telling? Like, so we can expedite with integrating this artificial intelligence and increase the entire efficiency of that right from day one till it reaches the patient or the end users. Then the potential speed of the entire clinical trial process. And apart from those things, AI ability will analyze a large number of the complex data, can lead to more and precise results as improving the overall quality of clinical trial. This is how I look into this AI into the entire process of the clinical trials. And I can go in my next probably upcoming questions, I can give a couple of examples where you can appreciate how AI has made a change or how the AI has been put a lot of impetus on conduct, execution, and getting the meaningful data result out of this conduct of the clinical trials. Yes, Subodh, this is my take over the first question.
Yes, sir. Great, great. Yeah, as you have mentioned, AI is definitely improving the accuracy, efficiency, and efficacy of clinical trials. That too, from the beginning to the end, from what we can say, like from selection of participants to each and every phase of clinical trials, which is happening. Great, indeed. So, continuing our distinguished lineup of panel members, I am pleased to welcome Mr. Shamsusman Ansari, Assistant Professor, Pharmaceutical Management, IIHMR Bangalore. Mr. Shamsusman Ansari is a pharmacy graduate from School of Pharmaceutical Education and Research, Jamia Hamdard, and a master's degree in Business Administration from Aligarh Muslim University. He has qualified University Grants Commission, UGC NET, in management. Currently, he is enrolled in PhD in Pharmaceutical Management program at IIHMR Jaipur. Mr. Ansari has around 11 years of professional experience encompassing both the industry and academia, with the primary emphasis on his extensive background in the industry. Mr. Ansari is a seasoned professional in market research and business consulting, bringing with him extensive experience in execution and management of projects, particularly within the pharmaceutical domain. Before joining IIHMR Bangalore, he has been associated with top companies like IQVIA, WNS, and ZS Associates. During his tenure in the industry, he had the chance to undertake business-related travels abroad, visiting countries such as Egypt and Saudi Arabia. Mr. Shamsusman Ansari brings a wealth of knowledge and practical insights to the academic realm, fueled by robust foundation in pharmaceutical industry and a proven track record in the market research and business consulting. Welcome, Mr. Shamsusman Ansari.
Thank you so much, Dr. Subodh, for such a nice introduction and a warm welcome.
Yes, sir. So going to the question. Marketing is one of the areas of business operations where it is widely predicted that artificial intelligence will drive enormous change. How will the pharmaceutical marketing evolve in the age of artificial intelligence?
Sure, Dr. Subodh. Yeah. Actually, because of AI, the marketing is evolving, right? The use is there already, and it will evolve further, right? And if we talk about entire, pharma value chain, then marketing is one of the business functional areas which is significantly impacted because of artificial intelligence. And I feel in today's time, everyone is using AI, but many of them, they may not be aware because there are many tools which have AI features and they are not aware about that, but they are using somewhere. And as rightly highlighted by others, that in today's world, we cannot ignore AI, right? So AI is very important. What I understand AI at a broader level, it mainly helps with data analysis. It also helps in, data integration, and it also helps in content creation. And it can create content in terms of text, images, and videos, right? Now coming to its application in pharma marketing, in marketing, it is very important to, understand your customers, right? Like you would like to understand which customers have, what preference they have. Sometimes you would like to segment customers based on their specialty area in pharma, right? There are different doctors treating different indications. Sometimes you would like to, segment them based on, their prescribing behavior in the past. And big pharma companies, actually, they have a repository of large database of their consumers. So if they do it manually, and they have been doing actually in the past, but with the help of AI, it becomes easy for them to analyze, to understand their customers. Once you understand your customers, then you can think about, creating messages in line with them, right? So that, your communication with them can be effective. So one is consumer understanding. So it is helping a lot. Second, that AI is helping in creating content. So once you know about your customers, then you can create content as per, their interest, as per their preference. And that will help your marketing very, effective. And when you do content creation, on your own by manual process, it takes a lot of time. But when you use AI, then it takes less time. Maybe if you were taking earlier, 10 hours to create a content, maybe, a visual ad to show a doctor. Now it can be created in 2 hours, 3 hours. Then there is, with the help of AI, you can also predict the future, right? Based on the historical data, you can predict that which physician can, prescribe the product that you have. So it is helping, across, marketing, like consumer understanding, customized messaging, content creation, predicting the future, predicting the sales. And also nowadays you can see the use of chatbots. So with that, customers are able to get their queries, the answers to their queries in less time, right? So it is also going to improve their experience. So this is how, AI is shaping the pharma marketing.
Right, right, sir. So as Shamsusman sir told, as Ganachari sir told, and as Bharat sir told, I've learned 3 important things that AI is transforming in pharma industry. 3 key areas, which is data analysis, data integration, and content creation. So as Ansari sir told, customer experience is something when it comes to marketing, where the pharmaceutical industry is focused on to understand their customers and to develop the contents in such a way that it aligns with the customer experience. Right. Going to the next question, I would like to address the same to Khan sir again. The use of AI in market research has revolutionized the industry by providing groundbreaking solutions and unparalleled insights. Discuss how AI has enhanced the capabilities of market research.
Yeah, absolutely, Subodh. So it's a big elephant in the room. Initially, if I talk about, say, 2018, 2019, market research industry was a little receptive or kind of not progressive enough to, gain more insight about AI, implement it in business, because it's around 20 billion business for them. And the risk was, would they lose some business around it? Because, if the AI can do it, it can be implemented for the company source itself. Why do you need a market research company to implement that, right? So that was a risk. But after 2020, I would say after COVID, we realized that there is a huge potential in market research, especially because, the amount of data generated by each company at the patient level is huge, humongous. They need to have certain kind of company that help them to understand how the data structures work, right? And how, to get it faster to the companies. So within market research company realize there is a business rather than being a receptive or being recessive around it. Let's implement it. And from 2020 till 2024, beginning of 2024, I would say that 15 to 20% of the work that we do in market research has been kind of implemented with AI, and it's helping a lot. It's not something that's going to replace, the role of a market consultant. And that was the risk that industry was taking, even a big company like KPMG or IQVIA or even a Gartner. So that was the question. But now I think industry has come to an answer that, okay, this is more into a assistive realm, and there's a kind of utility that can be done. So exactly why and what we are doing with AI in market research industry for pharma sector is a huge thing that we are doing. For example, I'll give you an example of KOL mapping. So initially, if you go for a KOL mapping for, say, a cancer drug, and you are doing for, say, a country like UK or US, any firm would call you and say that it will take around 3 months to 4 months to just get down the list, and then you can have another 3 months to validation, because anything that you're going to get the data, it won't validate it for itself. So that means you need another entirety of 6 months to just get to the list of the done, right? But with AI, if you have given access to the right set of the data, say that you are serving from PubMed and you have all the related data, it can be done in 6 days. And literally, we have done in 6 days to map all the QL for a lung cancer program in US. And that was a kind of, without a human error. So the human oversight was completely neglected there. And that projects we did that has like 67% more efficient data that a company was looking from the last vendor. So that means you are increasing your efficiency to do work and getting the done in a very faster manner that was not kind of recognized earlier. So this is one use case example. We are also seeing that, because now AI has changed, right? AI has a different form. So initially, till 2020, we have more into general AI that we used. So when we talk about general AI, it's more into deep learning and hardly some part of natural language processing and some part of machine learning. Now we have come to generative AI. That means now you are not learning about just complex data, but you are redefining it with voice control. So you can ask, hey, if you can just give me a list of KOL that is in the US and practice so and so things. So now generative AI, you don't have to, kind of manual program to computer to do all the things, but it will generate it. And the part of the best benefit of generative AI right now is that it's not generate the content itself, but it also pre-validate with the sources if you have. So that means the 3 component that market researchers do around it, it does in one go without a human oversight. That means it is reduced in human errors too, because we do error all the time. And if human error is not there, that means it's pre-replicates. So that is the second use case that we are seeing, and it has completely transformed the industry. So every big company, you name it, they have a digital team that is working on AI app that is going for a KOL mapping. So your KOL mapping is not now it's done by a human resource, mostly done by the computer program and softwares. The third thing, if you see a consultant live, so there are 3 important things they do. The one is data collection, then there is analytics, and then presentations, right? The second and the third part is more into it, where they want to be very confident that the data quality should be very high, and the presentation is in a form that a layman can understand. And there is at least in my knowledge, there are at least 50 different platforms that doing exactly the same thing without even getting any human effort. So that means the work we used to do in 3 months, now we are doing in 2 days and 3 day time span. And this is very beneficial for our client, because the process, when they have implemented AI, so they want to reduce overall all times. So for example, they wanted to do a clinical trial, and they are supposed to have a time of 3 months to set the design implementation. So they need this market research done in 15 days in advance. So that means we also should work in a way that we provide those information in advance before we're going to design any clinical trial, right? So this is the use case we are looking at. And apart from that, we are also seeing there's a new thing is arising that's called adaptive AI. And that's very, very, very intelligent. So it's not just going to, generate or understand your data or summarize your data, but it's changed the condition and environment if you want it to be. For example, you are doing a clinical trial, and there you see that the 3 risk factors are there that can, jeopardize your endpoint goals that you have either for primary or secondary. So you can build this, the AI can build a scenario for you that you have to check, or you can run this 3 clinical trial in the 3 different scenarios at 3 different locations, right? And this has also been done by, a lot of consulting companies that are providing a design scenario where what can be the output prediction level at what hospital and what region, because all the drugs have a different valuation, because now we are not only considering the patient data in terms of, their, we are also taking care of genomic data, and that varies region to region, because, the genetic markup of individual can change based on environmental factors. So we are seeing a lot of implementation, and next 5 to 10 years, I would say that the market research would be completely transformed. 80 to 90% work we do, or what we do right now, would be have some help of AI. And this is good for both, for the industry, the pharma industry, or from the consulting industry where this data has been generated.
Right. Great, sir. So I really like that insight on adaptive AI, how it is going to drive the pharmaceutical industry in future. So as Wahid sir has shared, there are multiple AI tools that can actually help us in cutting down the time which is consumed for a market research project. Because as we know, market research is something which was quite time consuming. Maybe if we look down the line, like a few years back, we see took around definitely around 1 to 2 years to complete a market research project. So as sir has mentioned, now we can do it in 3 to 5 days. That too without human errors. That is one great possibility that AI has brought to us. Right. To Ganachari sir, artificial intelligence enabled data collection and management can be a game changer for life sciences companies in the drug development program. In what ways can AI be applied to improve the patient selection, monitoring, and data collection in real time during clinical studies?
Yeah, well, I think you asked a right question in the 3 bits. One is like how to improve the patient selection. Second is how to monitoring the patients across the site, across the centers, and probably the last is the data collection. Coming one by one, for the patient selection, I give an example of inclusion and exclusion criteria. As many times for many of the studies is for what happens, they got very complex guidelines is for inclusion and exclusion criteria. But however, we have got a long way to go. We have got a lot of tools are coming. They are into testing phases. They are into the different phases are there. Nevertheless, coming to the one by one of the classical example that what we call as like we heard about adaptive AI, something is called as a predictive analytics.
Right.
So we are working on, a lot of people are working on predictive analytics, which can help the identify patient who are most likely to respond positively to the particular treatment, so that the screening rate will come down, screen failures will reduce, so enrollment will be faster. Then apart from those things, certainly this can help the researcher more efficiently recruit patients for clinical trials and increase the likelihood of this success. That is the first thing what I can tell about the patient selection. So another classical example to use the machine learning algorithm to analyze the real-time data sets. We heard a lot about the variables, devices, and other sources, allowing to more accurately monitor the patient health and better insights into the treatment efficiencies or efficacies. We have seen like a lot of variables are there. They are coming. The watches. We have heard about the tattoos are coming. We heard about the digital therapeutics. So many things have been available in the market. Down the line, we need not wait for another 15, 20 years. I'm very optimistic. In a couple of years, all those things can become a reality. Already it is happening to the realities. The second component was that the monitoring things, as I said, one of these variables, we can record all vitals. In my next sector, I'll be giving a classical examples which already were working with the how these variables, how the devices can help us. The last was the monitoring the data collection. I know that when you use the wristwatches, it can be connected to an app. App keep on recording your blood pressure. You can record the heart rate. It can record your pulse. Everything can record, and it can keep it, or it can transmit to the physician, to your loved one. Everything it can be done. In US and other Western countries, of course, now in our country also, geriatric is the biggest problem, and geriatric fall is the biggest challenge. And once the fall is there, they had a very bad prognosis. So here we have got a small devices where it can real-time monitoring can be done. Where if there is a fall is there, alarm is there, it gives alarms for multiple things. So many things can be done by using these variables as per concerned is about the monitoring, as well as for the patient selection and also the real-time clinical data, monitor the clinical data. We have got a long list of all those things. In a small studies is what we are going to do is simple that predictive values is, as I said, like simple. Other day we were enrolling one of the baby for the vaccine studies is they say the cutoff is not more than 14 to 15 weeks or 14 to 16 weeks. That was the inclusion criteria is we may fail to calculate the number of days, what happens is exactly and all those things. Just a small tool was given by the one of the sponsors. Just put it exactly gives us whether it fits into the criteria. By reducing that, increases the efficiency, efficacies, reduction of the time, accuracy is more. This is how AI is helping us to take care of the patient selection, monitoring, and data collections in a real-time things. And last, I would like to give one more example. We were working on diabetic foot ulcer. Long back, we were working on diabetic foot ulcer. The inclusion criteria was so stringent. They used to say that the ulcer should not more than 4 millimeter, non-healing, not more than depth than 1.5 millimeter. It should not touch the bone, non-infectious. Such a long, very complex. Of course, we enjoyed it, but it took a lot of time to. Probably these tools comes into those things can help us to analyze and do it faster. And last example for this is that still now tuberculosis is the biggest challenge in the whole world. TB Mukt Bharat, where government of India is talking about all those things. We have been approached with a lot of big giants of the industries in the medical equipments industry in the country and all those things. They are working on that. They want to make a deep learning or machine learning, say that they want to read the X-rays, just X-rays, and they want to develop the algorithm. Anybody in the country, whether it's a rural or whether it is a remote areas, is just they can put on the app, it can tell that whether the person has got any trigger tools or anything else to is been suspected for the tuberculosis. Lot of things can be done by coming into the AI. We can address a lot of complex challenges to treat some of the so-called non-treatable diseases or challenging diseases across the world.
Right. Thank you so much for sharing that, Ganachari sir. Because this is like because we have heard about using predictive analysis and analytics in demand forecasting, so forecasting of medicines and all. So similarly, it's good to know that it can be used in patient selection also. And the words from you reminded me of my PhD work also, where I was finding it difficult to grade diabetic foot ulcer because it's a very complex process, whether it's grade 1, 2, or 3, or grade 0. And also there are multiple ways of grading diabetic foot ulcers, which makes it much more complex to grade.
Quickly, I'll add one more, if you permit me.
Yes.
I still remember when I did my first study, we took the butter paper and a graph, we take the traces and we measured it with a scale and all those things. Subsequently, recently we got a camera, right, which has got a built-in scale, and we should look into the camera's scale is to come click it. That was the next step. Right. Probably in upcoming studies, we can get complete picture. If you just click it, it gives everything which fits into the criteria of inclusion or exclusion criteria. Yes.
Definitely, that will be something that we will be expecting from AI in future. Right, great, sir. Yes, and Ansari sir, as technology continues to evolve, AI will play an increasingly vital role in shaping the future of marketing. What is your perspective on trends and advancements in AI that are likely to shape the future of marketing for practices when it comes to pharmaceutical industry?
So I would speak about in the context of pharma marketing, how it is going to be in future. See, we are already using AI, right? As I said.
Yes.
But the point is, we are not harnessing the full potential of AI. So what I feel in future, efforts will be made to make best use of AI. Companies who are using AI, they are doing their best and they're exploring ways, how they can use AI into day-to-day marketing activities, how they can improve their processes, and how can they, improve the quality of, their activity. So this is there they'll focus. The second thing, what Mr. Wahid Khan highlighted, adaptive AI. So in future, I think integration is going to happen. Nowadays, what we are doing, we are using AI for different tasks, right? But we are doing that in silos. There is no integration. So in future, more and more integration will happen, so that uh, so that the their whatever the objective of marketer is good, that is going to be met. I can give one example, right? You must be heard about multi-channel marketing. When you do multi-channel marketing, so what you do when you have to reach your customers, you use different channels, more than one channel. That is multi-channel marketing. But all channels are not integrated. So now the new concept is there, that is omni-channel marketing. In omni-channel marketing, omni means all. So in omni-channel marketing, pharma companies, what they are doing, they are trying their best to use all the available channels to reach their customers, targeted customers, right? At the same time, they are trying to integrate. So if customer, if he's switching, if he gets he gets some information from one channel, then he's switching, So when he's switching, then he should not feel disjointed. The idea is to integrate in such a way that the customers get consistent and unified experience. So integration is going to happen in future. And also for small companies, I would say, their use is very limited. They're using for certain things. In future, they are going to use more and more AI. Maybe today, if they are using just for, content creation. So in future, what I think, they are going to, analyze the database that they have and, trying to identify patterns from the historical data, and that they can use in making their future marketing strategies.
Right.
So yeah, that is
Yes.
what I think.
Right. As Ansaris are told, with the integration of different capacities of AI, it will be definitely supporting the pharmaceutical industry to provide a better customer experience or to understand the customers, consumers better and to improve the requirements of the customers. Great. So coming back to Wahid sir, so we have a lot of interesting questions popping up in the chat box, and definitely we will be addressing that at the end of the session. So for this, you can kindly drop the questions in the chat box. We will be addressing the same, and the queries will be addressed to the panel members. Right. So back to cancer. Numerous AI tools cater to various purposes in the market, and AI-powered applications give insights to understand consumers, optimize strategies, and make data-driven decisions. Can you provide examples of AI applications that enhance customer interactions and that supports in marketing?
Great questions. So Subodh, I mean, every company, if you talk about the large pharmaceutical company, they have developed their own AI applications. And I was fortunate enough to work with a few of them. For example, Sanofi has Sanofi Genie. So their marketing tool that is recently kind of they have developed, I guess in 2022. And what it does is that is it kind of whole integration platform. So for example, you do marketing. So your primary customer is doctors, right? So you go to the doctor, you share your information about your new drugs that Sanofi has launched, and can take a kind of consent to get and prescribe that. And there is a way to do it. So traditionally, a rep can go, a medical representative can go and show the folders and everything around it. Maybe you can do email marketing, right? Maybe you have telephonic marketing, and there are a lot of tools that you use. So what it does is that it has integrated everything in a way that how everything works and what is the best way to use each and every tool at what way. So it has like functional component first, like it first track like what kind of information you're providing to doctor, whether you're talking about efficacy, whether you're talking about more into mechanism of action, you are talking about access to the market, pricing, or anything, right? So there are a lot of things that a medical rep talk to doctors. So depending on what doctor and how he used to prescribe, what he listens more, and what email marketing strategy best work for it. So it derive a plan for every rep, and it will give you a combination code. You do first this one, then do this one, and this will be the timing of doing this one. For example, for a doctor in Kolkata, you do first email marketing, and then you show this folder, and especially only this information, because from the past experience that the data AI has generated or created from the database, it's shown that the time a rep has shown more into mechanism of action, the chances of probability of getting prescription has increased. So it is generating that more detailed insight for every rep that work for Sanofi in a particular market. And it was updated every day for that rep to go through it, and he know exactly what he's doing. Right. So this is the new level of marketing where AI is controlling what you do and how you do and when you're doing. And this is not just case of Sanofi. We have also seen that Merck use Clara. They have their own integrated platform, and it does even more smarter things. It will tell you exactly at what time you should go to, even to the doctor. So either it's a morning shift is the best time to meet, and or it's a evening time would be the best for a medical rep to go, and what kind of content you should show based on the previous experience. So there are a lot of app that has been developed that works for different company, and this is I'm talking about in-house platforms. There are different companies that RFX. There are different companies, outsourcing companies that also plan this kind of products for small or medium-sized company, because not every company has capability to develop such a sophisticated tools, and that would cost a lot of dollars. So there are a few companies there. They also develop for the small companies, and we are seeing this kind of facilitations is happening in at least in North American market, in European market, in India and South Asian market. I think this trend will be developed in next 2 to 4 years, because AI is not now is a very cost intensive. You can develop in $50,000, that the cost has decreased so much. So we are expecting that this kind of marketing initiative using AI could be increased in ever and ever, because we are learning more about the perception about the doctors, how they perceive about a particular treatment, or what's the mood point. Even the sentiment analysis has been done on this platform to understand that what is the chances, and it gives you a score that if you do this, all the parameters, what is the success chance, how much of prescription you can generate. So it's also predicting the sales in the volume in for a particular drug in a particular region. So Subodh, I can say that this is very fascinating. Even sometimes I think there are some risks because cybersecurity and data breaching. But yeah, because you are playing with some of the delicate data that doctor might not able to share or not want to share. But yeah, the way we are going, it is the future, and this is how I predict that the future will look like for marketing, at least for the pharma companies.
Right, right. Yes, yes, yes. Just like Vahid sir has shared. So in the previous discussion, our Ganachari sir was saying about how predictive analytics is working on clinical research. Similarly, Vahid sir also shared an example how predictive analytics can help. What is the requirement of the physician? So how to develop an efficient or effective marketing as strategy as per a physician's requirement. Similarly, I also like that example where you kind of talked about understanding the geography before developing a specific market strategy, and how AI can kind of predict the requirements based on data which was available in the market previously. Great. Then, yeah, to Ganachari sir. It is believed that AI has the potential to revolutionize drug discovery, clinical trials, and patient care. Can you share how AI can enhance the efficiency and accuracy of clinical trial design and protocol optimization?
Well, as we discussed earlier, what are the advantages and how it can enhance the ease of the life for the entire researcher, the cycle of the team. It's a big team working into those things. If you ask for the efficacy and accuracy and efficiency, I'd like to give again a classical examples. During pandemic, 2 years we underwent a very bad phases, particularly for some of the conditions like maybe the cancer patients undergoing the chemotherapy, and more so the another challenge was for the pregnant women. So it was a big challenge for a pregnant woman to go for the follow-up of the gynecologist and all those things. Probably during that time, one of the agencies or somebody came up with a beautiful answer for this, saying that they brought up with the small devices where it is called the fetal monitoring devices. So they break them to then why the patient should go all the way from home to the consultant to understand what is happening to the baby, what has happened to the baby movements. For that, they brought up that artificial intelligence. If you look into the whole philosophy of these devices, one of the devices, what I can explain you, like one they called as an MI contraction devices, right? And this patented monitoring, it monitors the track of the uterine contractions, frequency and durations, seamlessly transmitting the data to the user-friendly app. And this app is a small device already attached to the women, and this device is going to pass all the information to the app, and app is well connected to the gynecologist or whoever is there. Not only transmitting the data, it keeps on giving the what is the traction of the contraction of the uterine and all those things. This is by do these things. What happens? Obviously, it increases the efficiencies, enhancement, accuracy. Everything will come in. One step ahead, they went and understood, saying that the fetal tronics devices, where that at home it wonders is that measures the contraction of the fetal heart rate. It reduces the fetal heart rate wirelessly, relying this vital information to be connected to the app. The next one was a comprehensive health monitoring solution was there, where there is a design to bridge the gap between the physician visits and ensuring the expectant mothers to receive the continuous care supports. And during this time, they used all types of the AI algorithms and all those things to monitor all vitals of a mother, including the baby, without having any interventions or anything else. A simple devices could make it. They brought in the artificial intelligence, they brought into the digital therapeutics, they combined everything, they have resolved all the issues, is saying that how it can be address the challenges conduct of the clinical trial. The another classical example was that one of the arthritis studies is. So what happens is a pain is very subjective. If I ask the arthritic patients, how do you explain the pain in your small joints? If you want to ask them from 0 to 5 rating, it is very, very subjective. If the pain perception is very high or very low, they keep on doing that. One of the device or the tool was there. They brought up on the touch screen saying that they can touch the joints and tell it how much pain it is there. Just they can touch and keep on pressing till the response that is to keep a red mark and all those things. And these all data were connected in the real time, and they used to collect the data and do the analysis of the data of those things. And recently we came across one of the similar type of the tool or anything else when the patient meets with an accident. The hemorrhages are very common. Of course, the patient that comes and they go for a CT and all those things, it takes little time. They call as a golden hour or anything else. Some of the investigators or some of the scientists has developed a small device which can put on the head of the patient who has undergone the accident. We can reduce the time, which can real time it can record the changes in the blood pressure in the brain and all such things of all those things. So simple such type of the things can enhance the efficiencies, reduce the time, increases the data collection, including the analysis of the data on the real time. Next, some of the other classical examples where we can, as I said, like we can use such type of the, because we are into the vein of the maternal and child health. We are recognized by WHO as well as we are the Center for Excellence in Women and Child Health. As a part of that, we get a lot of studies pertaining to the reduce the postpartum hemorrhages, early baby the mortalities and all those things. As one part of that, we are trying to use all these type of the things where we can use the baby heartbeat monitors to reduce the risk of stillbirth and improve the infant mortality rates in the India. It is quite possible. We are testing. We want to generalize into the larger population. Similarly, we know during the pandemic, we are talking about a saturated oxygen pulse oximeter. We have got a lot of examples where they were reading properly, where they were not reading properly. But this is one of the important vital parameter where it can use a lot of information to the researchers. For example, the use of SpO2 monitor to detect, manage oxygen saturation level in the pregnant woman as well as the newborns in the India. So this is how it can change the entire plethora of the healthcare management by integrating the artificial intelligence. It can take care of everything. Another classical example, we use a lot of digital tachometers in the day-to-day practices. These digital tachometers and the baby heartbeat monitors are on both maternal as well as a neonatal, as I already mentioned. And we can use this AI to improve the early detection and treatment of pregnancy complication in India. We know that India has got the highest rate of maternal and as well as maternal mortalities and the newborn mortalities. And the entire world has been rated depending upon the mortality rate and all those things. This type of the AI can reduce the mortality rate by early detection of the and giving the treatments. And to use this AI to develop personalized pregnancy care plans to the women in India, where we can develop a lot of things. The nutritions are there. So many things can be brought up. But taking all those things, yes, we can enhance the efficiencies, accuracies of the clinical trial, and thereby it helps you to design and also optimize the protocol design what you have done it. And lastly, as I said, tuberculosis is a big problem. Maternal death is the biggest challenges. Similarly, the diabetes is another challenge. We gave an example of diabetic foot ulcer. When I was reading some of the literature and all those things, I came across with the diabetic retinopathies. Many people lose their eyesight. A simple the one of the organization has came up saying that they want to have the large scale data, the diabetic retinopathy data sets. They've made it a machine learning and all those things. They are depending upon the content based image retrieval. That is a technique what they use, and they publish saying that they got 99.6% accuracy. Amazing. Then they got 0.99% of the whole precision rate, as well as 0.932% of the recall, and the accuracy is up to 99.6%. We have got a long list of certain things which is giving a lot of promising results, making more ease of the life, and it has become plug and pay for all the health stakeholders, made with the patients, maybe the attenders, maybe the doctors, maybe the industries, maybe it be the marketing divisions.
Right. Wonderful, wonderful example, sir. So yeah, I really like that point where AI algorithms, it's quite amazing to see how AI algorithms can actually predict the health status of fetus without any complex interventions. Great. So yeah, so I think it's time for addressing the queries from our participants. So we have two interesting questions so far. And yeah, let me go to the chat box. So you can drop your questions, dear participants, and also if you want to ask directly, you can do it. So I'll address the first question. So yeah. So yeah, the esteemed panel have shared how AI helps the pharma industry to do things efficiently and effective across pharma value chain with minimal human interventions. So how do you see that impacting the opportunity for students, and what are the things they should be doing to make themselves ready for the industry? An exciting question from Manvar Siddiq. I think Wahid sir will be the right person to address this question.
Thanks, both. Yeah, so I mean, for students, there are a lot of things to learn, especially AI is coming, and it's a kind of a future that you can't, kind of break. So first thing, break your barriers. That AI is something that is a tech barrier. You need to have knowledge about, codes and everything around. There's nothing required. If you see the architect of AI, it's simply based on three things. One is your computer science that include codes. Second is stats, mathematics. And third is cognitive science, that is automated reasoning and reasoning analysis. So AI is so good that they just need the reasoning, right? How to solve a problem. The rest can be solved or can be done by your AI. So if you are, so suppose you wanted to build something around to predict how the cancer kind of, the things happen in cancer. So if your logic is clear, if you understand how to solve a problem, rest is done. So my suggestion for every student that first learn what different things are available in AI and what we're looking at exactly in the future. For example, you're going into marketing, right? So even in marketing, in some point, you'll be exposed to some AI tool. And if you know how it exactly works, because you control the cognitive part of it, as a human, we control it. And we are the person who has designed that cognitive science behind it, how it's logical to think or change the thinking, right? So if you have that knowledge, you can use it in a more efficient way. you can have a better idea about how the software works, and you get better result than your peers, right? So the only thing that you have to do is very clear in your reasoning, that because everything in AI is based on reason. If you have a good cognitive sense and how solve, or a capability to solve a problem, you will be definitely have a good career. It's not just marketing. Even you go into R&D, you will doing a research, doing a molecular design, and you have to design a molecule. So if you have understanding how this platform works, AI works, what logics behind it, how it's think. So as a cognitive science, as a cognitive human being, we can kind of take advantage of it and make it more better, right? And that's the case of everything. So my suggestion would be, in the future, you will be exposed to AI, be ready for it, understand how it works. You don't have to be tech savvy, you just have to be clear on your thinking part. Rest will be controlled by AI itself. And as I mentioned, even you don't know even a code. There are platform called no codes platforms. So if you have a logic, you can build an entire platform without knowing even a single line of a code. So just break your barrier, be ready what you are looking at, and just see what happening with that field with the use of AI, and see and learn how this platforms works. Try to visualize your mind, and once you have that, you can have a best assured future, I'm sure.
Right, great. So yeah, a lot of interesting questions are popping up. So I think I can address one to Ganachari sir. So there is one question which I got, like, how data analytics. So we know that data analytics is something that is just like Vahid sir told, something that is related to statistics. So how data analytics, which is playing an important role when it comes to different sectors of pharmaceutical industry, how it is contributing to clinical research?
Well, when you call it as a data analytics, it is as a combination of whether it is statistics or anything. As I said, it is a predictive value, predictive analysis. Suppose if I give again the same example, if I'm having around 100,000 of the patients are enrolled across the world, it is a multicentric studies, or for example, postpartum hemorrhages. We want to understand what is happening postpartum hemorrhages in entire as per the number of patients who have been enrolled. Doing manually and doing a lot of things, it becomes developed. You give the algorithm for the whole things, give the data analytic questions, it precisely keep on analysis of all the components and gives a ready-made format to the assessors or the principal investigator to come to a meaningful conclusion, saying that has it met our primary objectives or primary goal or no. Then subsequently, what happens is this data analytics gives the vertical analysis as well as the horizontal. Uh, I think many people are working on the SPSS and all those things. You just feed the data, it gives varieties of this thing. At the end of the day, yes, human intervention is required to make a meaningful out of that. It gives a lot of data analysis and say that what is happening to the, how many were enrolled, whatever the, what we call as an comorbidity of the patients, what has taken the concomitant medications. Every section can be analyzed by getting into the data analytics. At the end of the day, we should get shortest period, more accurate, more efficient, meaningful data should be generated. That's what I see the data analytics, particularly when you call it for the clinical research or a clinical trial data analytics.
Right, wonderful. I think Sailashmi, your question is addressed. Right. So yeah, there are a lot of questions. I don't think time will be kind of letting us address each and every question, but still we'll go to few more. So Shamsu sir, there is an interesting question from Mr. Bharadwaj Malapatti. Why there is no barcode in the medicine strips compared to FMCG which has high compliance? How is pharma manufacturers track if there is any issue?
Sir, I think the government of India has, they also have made it mandatory that, at the primary level packaging, there should be a QR code. And it is, effective since 2020.
Right.
Right. So at the primary level packaging, where it is happening, in the company, I think the QR code is there to track. Also the APIs which are, supplied, even for that, QR code is there to prevent the counterfeit drugs.
Right. Vahid sir, you wanted to address something? Yes, it's Ganachari. Yes, Ganachari sir, please.
Well, It is a good and very legitimate question. Like, why not barcode or QR code? As earlier, the panelist said that on primary packing and some of the strips and some of the medications are coming with a QR code and all those things. They are already coming. Probably for a strip of tablet may be difficult because the strip cutting is a challenge. A lot of debate is going on in our country whether to cut a strip or not to cut a strip and all those things. Yes, primarily the packages do have this barcoding as well as a QR coding. And whenever they want some of the bottles or anything else, they are including the QR code to recognize, to identify all those things. It has been practiced.
Right. Great, great. I think uh, both Shamsu sir and Kanachari sir has addressed both the questions from Bharadwaj. Great indeed. I think you got the clarification, right, Bharat? Right. Now I can take one more question. Yeah, still we are late, but still I'll take one more question, which is from Hamza Sheikh. I think Wahid sir can address this question. Role of AI in design of experiments and quality by design.
Yeah. So role of AI in design experiment, are you talking about the overall clinical trial design, or what does this mean? So because, it's a pharma level, it could be a very vast horizon, right? So I'll give you just an example. Like, the role AI has a role in everything, in designing experiment or designing, literally when you start with a molecule, and nowadays in silico, you design a molecule right on a computer. So AI is the first step that give you a hint, like based on your target selection, these are the 5,000 compounds that you can start with, right? So right at the front, you have AI that kind of leading you to understand what drug molecule that you start with has a hit, or you don't want to optimize in future. So that is designing, the AI is taking control of it. And this is the part where AI has been maximum used. So out of 800 companies I talked about, 400 or even 500 companies just doing it, drug designing with the help of AI.
Right.
There are a lot of companies. And quality control in manufacturing, if you will be kind of surprised, most of the biomanufacturing facilities in North America is run by AI in somewhat, in terms of processing, in terms of robotic automation processing, in predictive analysis, in future maintenance programs. Everything is run by AI platform. And there is an integration platform. You can go to the Siemens website and you can see the whole lot of solution that's available in industry that is using for the quality and design for the biomanufacturing part. And in India, I guess some of the facility has started it, that benchmarking. I think Biocon has started it. But
Right.
yeah, in the Western Hemisphere, it's already a parameter that's taken very seriously by industry.
Right. Great, great, sir. Great. Right. Wonderful, wonderful questions. And yeah, I was really impressed by the kind of questions that they asked. Yes, thank you, Anwar, Bharadwaj, Hamza, and Salakshmi for coming with wonderful questions for our panel members. Right. So I think it's time upon us. We sadly came to the end of our webinar. So we had an exciting and insightful discussion with our experts. I thank our experts, Mr. Abdul Wahid Khan, Dr. M.S. Ganachari, and Mr. Shams Usman Ansari for their insights and opinions. So you will get, dear students, you will get access to this webinar through IIHMR Bangalore YouTube page. And we hope this webinar will stimulate your thinking and planning about AI. So AI is here, and the one who is ready to change has succeeded in history. As Wahid sir mentioned, if you are ready to accept AI and to go forward, definitely it is going to help you succeed in near future. So I wish you all the success and thank you for your time. Have a wonderful weekend. Thank you all.
Thank you, everyone. Have a nice weekend ahead.